Hello guys, welcome to my channel Electrical Hub. So today we are going to talk about a very basic topic, that is how does electricity work. Now we all know that this is a very basic but very important topic that every engineer should know. So let us start with the video. So we all know that electricity is the flow of electrons around a circuit. Now we will understand what electron is. Okay. So basically for that we have to memorize the concept of an atom. We know that every object, including us, is made up of an atom. So an atom consists of nucleus. As you can see in this diagram, this is nucleus. And nucleus is consisting of protons and also neutrons. Protons are positively charged and neutrons do not have any charge. And electrons, which are negatively charged, revolve around the nucleus. So this is similar to a satellite orbit of a planet. Okay, so electrons are negatively charged and they are attracted towards the positive charge of the protons. This is the basic concept of an atom. Now we will see an example of an atom, that is copper. Okay, so copper has atomic number of 29. So we will 2, 8, 18 and remaining is 1. So in the first orbit there will be 2 electrons, you can see over here. In the next orbit there will be 8 electrons. In the next orbit there will be 80, and this is the last orbit, that is called as valence shell. We know that the outermost shell is called as valence shell, and in this shell some materials have loosely bound electrons which can flow to the other atoms. Okay. So atoms which can flow or pass the electrons are called as conductors. So the atoms which can easily pass the electrons are called as conductors. And the atoms which do not have free electrons, like this, and so they cannot pass electrons between the other atom, and they are called as insulators. So these two are the most important concept of electricity. Okay. So we can combine conductors and insulators, and we can use them to safely use the electricity. Now how? You can see in this copper cable wire. So you can see this copper cable wire. I have drawn the diagram of the cable wire. As you can see, this is the conductor, that is copper wire, and this is the insulator. Insulator means it restricts the flow of electrons. So it makes safety for us to use electricity. Now you can see that this is a copper cable, and we can see that these electrons are moving in random direction in this cable. Okay, so whenever we connect a battery to the closed circuit, this is a closed circuit. Okay, whenever we connect a battery to the closed circuit, what happens? The electron starts gaining a direction. Okay, the electrons start gaining a direction, and they will move in the same direction as the voltage force is applied. So whenever we are applying a battery is applied means what? Voltage. A voltage force is applied. So whenever the force is applied, what will happen? It will give the force to the electrons, and the electrons gains the direction due to that force, and they start moving in a particular direction. Okay. So first of all, they were moving in random direction, and after the battery is applied to the closed circuit, then electrons gains the direction and they start moving in a same direction. So now this circuit is closed. But if this circuit is open, what will happen? If this circuit is open, there will be no electrons flow, because the electrons will flow only in a closed circuit. Okay, understood? Now we will understand what is voltage. So the best example of voltage is the pressure in the water pipe. Okay, so more the pressure in the water pipe, more the flow of water. So more the pressure is equivalent to more the water. Similarly, more the voltage, more the electron flowing. Okay, so we know that voltage is equal to joules per coulomb. Everyone knows joules means what? Joules is nothing but work done. Okay, and coulomb is the number of electrons flowing. Hence the electron flow. Okay, so joule is the measurement of energy, or we can say work done, and coulomb is nothing but electrons flowing. So suppose a 12-volt battery is there, we can say a 12 joules of work per coulomb. Okay, understood what is voltage? Voltage is the pressure applied to the electrons to gain the force or the direction. Now we will understand a second important concept, that is current. Okay, so we all know current is what? Current is flow of electrons. Flow of electrons, and it is measured in amperes. Okay, so 1 ampere is equal to 1 coulomb. 1 coulomb we know the value is 6.242 into 10 raised to 18 electrons. So electrons are negatively charged and they flow from negative to positive terminal. Because electrons are negative, they are attracted towards the positive terminal. Now the next important concept, that is resistance. So what happens? Resistance, the name as itself suggests that resistance means what? It is the restriction or the opposition to the flow of current. So it is measured in ohm. We all know ohm, the symbol of ohm is this, and ohms. It is written as this. The flow of electrons, it is measured in ohm. Flow. So the longer the wire, the greater is the resistance. The thicker the wire, the lower is the resistance. Okay. Now resistors, we know what are resistors. Resistors are the components which are used to protect the devices or components from the excess flow of electrons. Okay. This is suppose resistor. This is appliance. Suppose TV. So resistor is used to reduce the flow of electrons. So for the purpose of safety or purpose of the protection of the devices or the components, we use resistors. Hence resistance occurs when electrons collide with the atoms. Now this is the table. Now these electrons move randomly and they collide with the wire. So the amount of collision is different from one material to another. So this is suppose iron wire and this is suppose copper. So copper have very low collision rate, and the other metals like iron have high collision rate. And due to the collision, what happens? Due to collision, there is a heat produced, and due to heat there is light produced, and due to this what happens? Our electricity work, or we can say our lamp will glow. Okay, so this is the basic concept of how electricity works. And The next remaining concept I will explain in the next video. So this is all for today's video. So guys, please do like, share and subscribe my channel Electrical Hub so that I can make some new videos on this. And thank you guys for today.